Huh? Why am I so tiny? I'm so wee. Oh, there I am. That's funny as hell. Hey, how is everyone? I had to feed my cat. She was getting crazy. So, can everybody hear me? Hello. Hello. Hey. Hello. How is everybody doing on this fine Sunday evening, whatever it is, afternoon, early evening? Oh, well, you know what? Thank you. I showered. Listen, it doesn't happen often. Thank you. Um, so got a barn burner. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up. And maybe I shouldn't talk about burning anything when we talk about Delphi. If you know, you know. So I want to do a few things. I want to talk a little bit about, well, first of all, what are you guys doing? Anything? Anything? What are you here for? You here for the Allison Davis, the ongoing struggle that is the murder sheet, or the hidden true crime that I'm finally taking on? It's not going to be a huge exhaustive thing into hidden true crime because I can barely stomach it, but it's all Indiana based. Okay. Yep, all of it. All right. Well, so because I'm not sure what the temperature is on hidden true crime copyright striking somebody, let me plow through some of this Allison Davis stuff first. And I have not paid attention to this at all. And I think, honestly, for my purposes, I'm going to spit out my gum. Pardon me. Sorry. For my purposes, it's better right now that I don't know a lot, because what I want to talk about is Judge Gull and her gatekeeping ability. I have no opinion on what this woman did or did not do. I really don't. What I know, and I'll give you just like literally all I know about it, is that Allison Davis is, I think she's 35 years old. Her husband was found dead at the bottom of the stairs, which is, maybe it was an owl who did it. It might be too early to say something like that. But again, if you know, you know. But her husband was found dead at the bottom of his stairs in December of 2023, I believe. I'm not sure the exact date, but it was ruled a homicide, and Miss Davis was arrested, and she happened to retain. She has several attorneys, but Mr. Andrew Baldwin, which is the fact that it's Judge Gull and Andrew Baldwin interested me greatly. Not surprisingly, it looks like Judge Gull is taking her gatekeeping role very seriously on the side of the prosecution, on the side of the state, yet again. So it is, I just got a whole boatload of filings, and I'm kind of making my way through. But again, for my purposes, I don't think that I want to know a whole bunch right now, because this is about this is about the fact that Gull is precluding what could be exculpatory evidence. And I know that doesn't sound like her. I know it doesn't sound like her, right? But she is. So Allison, the Davis trial is going to begin next week, or what day is it? A couple days. And actually, it's interesting. They are going to let cameras in the courtroom. You know, that I have some serious feelings on that. I think it's interesting that she's chosen a very sort of flashy, 48 hours / Dateline adjacent sort of husband murdered by wife. Now this is all in parens, right? I think it's interesting that this is being televised. Seems like that might have been helpful in another case. But anyway, so the Davis trial starts this next week. So husband dead at the bottom of his, at the bottom of the stairwell. She wakes up, finds him in the morning, calls EMS, and he is dead. Okay. Now, let's pull up our first document, shall we? Because I want to talk about experts, and I want to talk about what Gull has done and has not done. All of the pretrial filings. Let's see, let me share my screen with you. We're going to start with, I think, the most recent filing, which was actually on Friday. And it was a motion to reconsider, asking Gull to reconsider letting their expert come in. There are two experts on Garmin health data. And Gull decided after a couple days of hearings, from what I can understand, one Columbia University professor and another Purdue professor both came and talked about the accuracy of Garmin health data with this case. I believe it has to do with sleeping and heart rate. I mean, if we want to compare it to Delphi or even Karen Reed, or even Murdaugh, right? I mean, it's all kind of part of that same family. It's sort of a way of locating and pinpointing people's movements. Well, in this case, the evidence that has been brought forward from Miss Davis's Garmin appears to be very good for her case. Shows her, sleeping at the time that her husband was killed and died. And it also shows her heart rate, which is also a very interesting thing. It shows her heart rate being very sort of baseline, which you think if you're going to clunk and I don't know if it's a baseball bat, but you would think, if you're going to clunk your husband over the head with a baseball bat, you might have a spike in your heart rate. Well, this isn't something that is showing up on the Garmin data. So naturally, Gull wants to get rid of it. She wants to eat, right? And I find this very disturbing. I find it very disturbing because, wow, right? Wow, pattern and practice. And I've looked at the state's motion in limine. I've looked at the defense's motion in limine, the interlocutory appeal they filed to, just say, we want to just run this up the flagpole and try to get this thing, the Garmin data in, because it's kind of like not being able to present a third party culprit in Richard Allen's case, or, Pickett. It's almost, it feels like this one piece of data, because nobody was there. We don't know what happened, right? Nobody knows what happened to this guy. But this Garmin that she wore, and there's statistically enough, I'll pull it up. It's actually a very exhaustive report, and we don't have to go through the whole thing, but I really want to go through a few things. So please stand by, talk amongst yourselves etc., etc. Okay, let's do this. Is that right? I could be sharing something crazy. No, it's not. It's not. Thank God. Okay, so, again, just going through. This is a ruling that was February 27th, I guess. Was basically just this series of rulings on motions prior to next week's trial that Gull just sort of, put out there. And again, when you read through it, and we saw this in the Delphi case, is that, so the first one is defendant's motion in limine evidence regarding retaining counsel is granted without objection. Granted without objection. But then we get to number 3, and third motion in limine, opinion about whether or not the scene was staged or altered is denied. Well, okay, shouldn't there be some information about that? I mean, is it just, why is that? And on the briefs, and the thing is about some of this stuff is that on the briefs, I don't know how there were briefs filed by the state for trying to preclude the Garmin evidence, and the defense brought in 2 stellar witnesses about the efficacy of the reliability of the Garmin evidence. And actually, at least in this case, she let them have a hearing, right? But then she's like, nah, no, we're not going to use that. Really? But the thing is, it's like, again, this stuff is serious. Why are we not seeing anything from her that's explanatory, right? I mean, to me, it's just classic Gull. I don't know if she's just, I don't know. So anyway, she's gone through and denied a bunch of stuff here. And let me see. Let's go and talk about the actual. We're going to start with the. All right, everybody knows that I have a thing. I have a thing about words. I have a thing about how things look. And I tell you what, you come into my classroom with this single-spaced, no appropriate borders having nonsense, and you're from the state, you're getting yeeted and sent home, and you're going to bring it back and have it written properly. I can't stand it. It's a legal filing. Okay, listen, I know. It's nitpicky, but words, the written word, the way it appears, it says something. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, look at the indent, y'all. Anyway, so this was filed by the state in the Allen County Superior Court, which of course is her home base. Comes now state of Indiana. Tessa Held, deputy prosecuting attorney, moves for this court a protective order excluding the following from evidence in the trial in this cause. Any and all comments with reference to the criminal penalty and possible sentencing. But I want to get to the Garmin stuff. Hang on a second. I think it's 5. Comments about personal opinions. Alleged third party. Okay, so here, this whoops. Do people? I mean, okay, maybe I'm just. Oh, where's Attorney Alessi? Where's Alessi? Let's get his ass in here. So this is the state moving to exclude any and all expert testimony or records characterizing data collected from the defendant's wearable Garmin activity tracker, including heart rate and sleep characterizations, until a determination is made as to the scientific reliability of the Garmin. and the device's collection of information, the way this data may be interpreted and relied upon pursuant to Indiana Rule of Evidence 702B, McGrew v. State, and applying Daubert-Frye. And it's like, okay, right. Well, it's funny. It's funny that we're talking about this because, cast your mind back 1 second here. And let's think about and so Judge Gull denied this after hearing from the experts. And I'm going to show you the exhaustive, like 12, 14 page analysis done by this guy from Columbia University. But so cast your memory back to, her gatekeeping duties in Delphi, if you will, right? So let's just cast our memories back. Let's think about it. Close your eyes. Does anybody remember the bar for any sort of expert testimony? That's right. It's the Cecil search. Come on in. Dirt, water, you bet. This is okay. Yes, I made that. Yes. Enjoy. It's a Cecil search. If you know, you know. Yeah. This was okay. This was all right. www.cecil search dirt, water, flip phone stuff. This is fine. No problem. Come on in. You want to go give that a bing in the hallway? Judge Gull? Yeah, sure. You know what? You can use my computer. Here you go. Clickety clackety clickety clack. But when the defense brings forward, and I'm going to show you this dude. And again, Gull denied it, right? Just denied it. Let's go back to this. So denied it, right? So if we go to, let me pull up this guy, okay? So this fella right here, Mr. Keith Diaz, one of the experts, one of the two experts, and also, so I just gotta say, Cecil search. But we don't know enough about Garmin data. I mean, honestly, one other thing I want to mention here before we move on, let's go back to Cecil for a moment. Because here's the thing about Cecil. And I don't know if anybody remembers. I went back and I listened to a bunch of our beloved LawTube folks. And I believe, and I could be wrong, but I actually wrote it down because I wanted to make sure that I get it correct. Did I write it down? I think I did. One moment. Yes, I did. This, hang on. God damn it, I'm old. I gotta take my glasses off. So part of what was testimony, or at least what I was able to cobble together, and we'll only know once we get the transcripts, but in the Delphi case, Cecil testified on the stand about his bona fides, right? And in it, he talked about the reliability of Apple Health data, such as workout routines, time zones, personal information like name, date of birth, height, weight. He also mentions Fitbit, right? Who was the lady? Somebody tell me who the lady was with the Fitbit. Didn't we do a whole lot of Fitbitting to do this stuff? Oh, hi. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Hi, Bob. Look at, there's Bob. Hi. Betsy Blair. Right. Thank you very much. Okay. So Cecil. Okay. Our friend right here. Trademark. TM. No, you can use it. Incorporating fitness trackers. So again, Cecil's talking about all of his cred. And listen, I'm not knocking Cecil. From what everyone said, he seemed like a stand-up guy until the whole Cecil search. Give it a bang. So he goes on and talks about, the reliability of the evidence that Nick's getting ready to barf all over the place. And incorporating fitness trackers. So like Fitbit, he mentions Fitbit, obviously, because they're going to use it and rely on it. Yeah, the Apple iPhone data, because they're going to need it and rely on it, right? But he also mentions can aid the user, and he also mentions Garmin. Now, somebody's going to have to go back and double check my work on that. But the state's expert on, water and dirt and flip phones, part of his bona fides listed the reliability of things such as Fitbit, Apple, Garmin. So again, I'm going to need all the people to double check. But what has changed? What has changed, Judge Gull? What has changed that you allow Cecil to get up there and pontificate and talk about all his stuff, and then you give it a bing and a bong here on the dirt water flip phone Cecil search? But then we get to Miss Davis's case, and holy cow, we've got a guy with a PhD that does what now? Let's see what his bona fides are, shall we? Let's see, what's this fella up to? He's okay. He's an associate professor at behavioral medicine. Go on. Columbia University Medical Center. Yep. Expertise in evaluating accuracy of research grade and consumer-based accelerometers. Okay, great. Can't even pronounce it. Good job for the measurement of physical activity and the processing, cleaning, and analysis of the granular data collected on these devices, and have provided expert testimony in these areas in previous cases. I'm going to mention here, and we're going to have to roll the tape, but I do believe that the motion to reconsider the interlocutory appeal, I can't remember, but I do believe that the defense team makes the argument that this gentleman, Dr. Diaz, right, actually provided testimony that at one point was, I don't know how recently, was found to be germane, found to be credible in a Supreme Court case in Connecticut. And somebody's going to have to check me on that, but it might be in one of the motions the defense filed. But so this is the guy, right? So he's done all this stuff, right? And this is filed on the docket thingy dingy. So been retained, PhD in integrative exercise physiology from Temple University. Served as a postdoc research scientist, associate research scientist, and assistant professor, tenured track, associate professor at Columbia University Medical Center. We all know that Columbia University Medical Center does not stand up to the kind of rigors of the Cecil search, but just give this guy a shot, right? Just give this guy a chance. Where I have conducted scientific research into the areas of behavioral medicine, epidemiology, biostatistics, and physical activity. I've received continuous research support through grant funding from the NIH. Well, kiss that goodbye, friend. Sorry, had to say it. Having secured over 18 million in funding support. But I will tell you something, that is saying something, because going through the hoops that it takes to get a federal grant, and this is something that I do report on and have reported on, is rigorous stuff. They don't just fork it over for nothing. So he, look at all these accolades, right? He was a fellow at the New York Academy of Medicine. Based on my expertise, he was invited to do all of these things, all the things, right? Let's see. NIH funded studies. Again, sorry about your loss, sir. So he's also, oh, here it is. Maybe this is what it is. So he's also provided testimony in 2 criminal trials, right? In issues related to the accuracy of wearable devices. I provided testimony as an expert witness in the state of Connecticut. Is that debate? This case, now this is interesting. This is nerd precedent, okay? This is like biostat nerd precedent is what I'm taking from this. This case constituted among the first cases in the U.S. to proceed to trial that utilize accelerometer data from a consumer device, a Fitbit. I served as an expert witness, contextualizing my research on the scientific validity and reliability of wearable devices in relationship to the standard for legal evidence. I mean, this guy sounds like a real meatball, doesn't he? Where does he get off? Providing guidance to permit jurors on how to weigh the evidence. My efforts in this trial are summarized in Gilmore and Gruber, something, something. I also conducted forensic analysis of wearable device data, provided testimony as an expert in the state of Ohio versus Bowman. Right? I mean, granted, he's no trooper, Paul. He's no trooper, Paul. And and it goes on, and he analyzes, talks about the footnotes on this guy. I mean, now this is how one sets up an appropriate, look at the spacing. Look at the double spacing indent, the borders, the appropriate footnoting. I mean, my God. On that alone, yes, sir, bring all your evidence, whatever. Come on in the door. Are you nuts? And so he went through and evaluated, and there's like an affidavit. Okay, let's see here. From 115 to, so again, and so this breaks down all of the information that that he was able to pull out from the extracted data from the Garmin, which was obtained through a search warrant by the state of Indiana. God, what is happening? Hold on a second. Oh, sorry. People need to stop sending me texts. But anyway, so all to say that this is what one could call exculpatory evidence. You know, at least building that story, right? It's you know, but yet Gull takes this, and in hearings, I believe, is Michael Osbrook around? Michael, do you know anything about anything? What was I going to just ask? I can't remember now. Damn it. I think it was about the status of the interlocutory appeal that was filed, but maybe it wasn't. So all of this to say is that here is this amazing piece of exculpatory evidence, right? And again, exculpatory doesn't mean anything more or less than can be used to get your prove your client didn't do what they did. And this is the thing. It's like the gatekeeping function that Gull is playing here. What there's no reasoning in her orders. None. And this guy, the thing is that the movement, it's like, get an expert, Indiana. Go out and buy yourself an expert. If you want to prove it, let's, I'm sick of the burden being on we, the people. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of the way that it gets conveyed in the news media that somehow the heavy lift is on the defense. That is bullshit, friends. And rulings like this, like what's the recourse, right? This woman is 35 years old. I don't know, right? I have no opinion on whether or not she clocked him in the head or not. I have no idea. But if her heart rate didn't go up above, sleeping level, I don't know. It seems like you might want to bring that in. Why wouldn't she be able to have an opportunity to do that? Because it's not science? Because it's not settled science? Right? I mean, what are we doing, people? I'm just and why is nobody talking about it? My head almost blew off when I heard about this. I'm like, here we go again. We've got Gull. Probably, Andy, and I said, and I think there's like a bunch of lawyers on this. But listen, Gull needs, I don't know how this is allowed to happen. I know that judges have broad discretion, but for Christ's sake, Cecil search, friends. That was okay. That was okay. But a guy with a PhD in all of the things, and all of the 18 millions and millions of dollars in NIH grants, oh, pish posh, nay. I just can't. What? I mean, it's like the government, friends, is not the arbiter of truth here. I mean, did you see the single spacing and the bad borders on that motion by the state, though? I mean, that alone, yeet it. Oh, my face. I'm getting hot. Indiana, what is going on? And again, I know this isn't just Indiana, but damn, what's going on with Gull? What's going on with, one of the other papers I was reading today, just sort of scanning, because again, I don't want to know too much, because I wanted to just talk about the procedure and the fact that this is now being withheld from the trier of fact by the guardian of the gates of hell. But the state is able to put on, let me see if I have the filing. The state, however, and again, this may be fine. But in light, they're being able to bring on a person who is not a forensic pathologist, I believe. Hang on one second. I got to find this. Oh, and you know what? Just wait 1 second, please. 1 moment, please. Does anybody remember that one time that one of our favorite habeas corpuses filed a, or one of our favorite defense teams filed a thingy? Was it the motion to correct error with a link to a web page? Does anybody remember that? Yeah. This is the state's motion to supplement. What is that? What is it? Oh my God. Michael Osbrook is somehow behind this because clearly he's trying to drive clicks to the Garmin support site. I see you. I see you. And the absolute trashing that the defense team took in that when they put it up to the YouTubes. What happens if you need a lawyer? What happens if, God forbid, you're arrested for something you didn't do? Then what? When I was talking to Kara and Michael the other night, people should check it out. But, Kara said it perfectly. There is this misperception that the state and the defense are somehow on equal footing. Just somehow, right? They're on equal footing. And that's just not the case. The power, the money, the goodwill of the public bending towards, the criminal and legal, the justice system, and all of this shit, it is putting it miles in front of the defense. And it's not even the defense's burden. The defense doesn't have to do anything. And all they're trying to do is bring in a piece of evidence that the jury will get to decide how much weight to give it. Right? So what kind of trial are we looking at for this woman? This woman who's 35 years old. Doesn't she deserve the ability to put on her defense? And shouldn't her defense include the totality of evidence that is available to her? Because certainly the state will be using all the things, right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so, it's not unbelievable. What am I even talking about? I mean, it makes total sense. But it's just, to see it happen again and again, and to see it happen with Gull, right? I mean, part of me wonders at this stage, with the trial starting next week, what are Fry Daubert in Indiana? What's funny is it actually the state cited Fry Daubert. I know, right? I just let me take this down for a minute while I find what it is I'm trying to figure out. I had notes. Damn it. It's my own fault. Problem with Gull is gatekeeper. I mean, preaching to the choir. Yeah, I mean, so what? I mean, what's the recourse, right? So I'm curious. I'm curious. I actually am curious. And maybe I'll have to do a Cecil search on this. But I'm wondering how much it costs on average to do a, let's just say that this piece of evidence is determined if Miss Davis is convicted, and this piece of evidence is found to be wrong, that Gull was to have erred in not allowing it in, right? Let's say that. Let's say that's what the appeals court finds down the road, if and when this woman is found guilty. How much does it cost to retry a case? How much does it cost to house somebody? How much does it cost? Because people don't seem to care a whole lot about actual, justice and rule of law with the eye towards equity and the eye towards the rights of the defendant, not the rights of the state, the rights of the defendant. How much does it cost? If people don't care about their fundamental rights, maybe they care about their pocketbooks, right? I don't know. Maybe they don't. It's a lot of money, right? I mean, what did Delphi cost? I mean, Nick spent like $45,000 on Dippity Doo alone, that guy. And they had to go get new sheets. It was a thing. It was the wrong kind of hair gel, and it got all over it was a mess. I see this, and there's so much wrong with the justice system in the United States, as it is right now. And it's not being bathed in glory in the state of Indiana, because of people like Judge Gull, because of people like the state. So let me see what the other thing was here that I wanted to talk about. The motion to, do you guys want to see more motions, or what do you think? Okay, this is the motion to reconsider. Motion in limine. Motion in lemonade. But again, like, the least that Gull could do was be issuing some rulings with law, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe. In response to the motion, I'm trying to find the most recent one that was filed this last week. I have too many things open. That supplemental motion by the state, single spaced. Oof. Yeah. All right, here it is. Let's see. Let's stir this thing up for a minute. So this is what link? What's this? Who dat? Oh, damn it. You shouldn't tell me to do things. I trusted you. Oh my God, that's hilarious. The appellate courts would appreciate if she did let it in. Yeah, I bet. I mean, right? I don't know. Seems like it. But okay, so first, let's just take a look at what the defense has filed. I don't even want you to look at anything written. I just want you to look at the borders, the appropriate spacing. This says I care. This says I care. It does. That's what it says to me. Let's see. So this was filed on Friday, and it is defendant's motion to reconsider. Okay. So let's take a little looky-loo. Comes now defendant Allison Davis by counsel, and respectfully asks this court to reconsider its February 28th order granting of the state's motion in limine to excluding expert testimony or records from the defendant's Garmin wearable fitness device. In support of this motion, the defendant submits the following. 1. On November 12, 2024, the state filed its first motion in limine. Paragraph 5 of that motion asks the court to exclude, quote, any and all expert testimony or records characterizing data collected from the defendant's wearable Garmin activity tracker, including heart rate and sleep characterization, until determination is made to the scientific reliability of the Garmin device's collection of the information and the way this data may be interpreted and relied upon, end quote. 2. A hearing was held on all pending motions in limine on February 7, 2025. Seems significant. 3. While the state's motion stated the evidence should not be admitted until a showing of reliability had been made at the hearing, the state argued that the reliability had not been demonstrated. Wow. I didn't read this yet. Oh my God, wait a minute. Hold on. Had not been demonstrated. Okay. Y'all. Should be okay. Pressing on. 4. On February 28, 2025, the court granted paragraph 5 of the state's motion and ruled the Garmin evidence was inadmissible at trial. Right. 5. On March 4th, 2025, the defendant filed a motion asking the court to certify this issue for interlocutory appeal. 6. On March 13th, the court denied the defendant's motion for interlocutory appeal. 7. In addition to the arguments previously made, defendant asked that the court reconsider its ruling. The data and expert testimony inadmissible for the following reasons. Again, just note the spacing. I love a good document draft. A, the state's motion in limine arguing for the inadmissibility cited Indiana Rules of Evidence 702B and the Daubert-Frye analysis. B, the defendant submits that the evidence presented at the hearing supported that the excluded testimony is based on reliable scientific principles and should be admitted on that basis. You saw, right? You saw the bona fides. Granted, we didn't go through it exhaustively, but just take my word for it. C, however, even if the testimony of Dr. Keith Diaz and Dr. Umit Karabiak has been found to not have met the standard of reliability under the Rules of Evidence 702B, the testimony should still be found admissible under 702A. D, Indiana Rules of Evidence 702A states that, quote, a witness who is qualified as an expert by knowledge, skill, experience, training, or education may testify in a form of opinion or otherwise if the expert's scientific, technical, or other specialized knowledge will help the trier of fact to understand the evidence or determine a fact in issue. Give it a Cecil. E, quote, the specialized knowledge mentioned in the evidence rule 702A includes more than just scientific knowledge. Oh, interesting. Okay. 702A. And if knowledge is not scientific, it need not be proven reliable by means of scientific principles under evidence rule 702B, Lyons v. State. And the citation, Indiana Court of Appeals. Nice. F, Dr. Diaz and Dr. Karabiak both testified at the hearing on February 7th that they both have extensive experience and specialized knowledge in the analysis of data from wearable fitness devices like Fitbit. Betsy Blair, right? G, based on this specialized knowledge, their testimony regarding analysis of the Garmin business records should be found admissible under 702A and not subject to the reliability analysis under 702B. H, additionally, Dr. Karabiak testimony is largely technical in nature as it relates to his conversion of the raw data from Garmin into human readable format. It is worth noting that there is no dispute that Dr. K properly converted the data, as noted in the stipulation of parties, which was admitted into evidence at the February 28, 2025 hearing. This testimony should be found to be admissible regardless of the 702B analysis, right? All the best, Maxwell Wiley from Baldwin, Perry, and Wiley. So let's go back up here, right? Okay. Okay, let's just highlight that for a moment, right? February 28th, court ruled. I mean, right? The court found that two experts, two doctors in numbers and stuff, in mathy things, in behavioral medical things, and all the fancy bits and bytes, right? They decided, Judge Gull decided in this case where this could be an exculpatory piece of evidence that the jury, who is the trier of fact, needs to hear, said, nay, we're not going to let that in. Absolutely not. But guess what? Give it a bang. I can't. And I will remind you what Cecil said. And again, I'm going to have people check it out for me, because I just went back and re-listened to some things. God damn it. Here we go. From Delphi. This is from Cecil's yep, I know all about this. I do this all the time. Right? And I mean, he's an expert, right? They should, you know what? Can somebody get Andy Baldwin on the horn and tell him to subpoena Cecil? Is that possible? Is it? The Apple Health app may also store other information such as workout routines, incorporating fitness trackers like Fitbit, Apple Watch, Apple Health data, Garmin, used in tracking. Based on my knowledge concerning the facts of this case, Cecil reasoned, neither Liberty German nor Abby Williams regularly wore a fitness tracker, instead referring back to the Apple Health data. Otherwise, it sounds like he would have relied on fitness tracker. So, questions, comments? Questions, comments? Because I'm going to move on. Because I'm getting hot. Oh, getting very warm. Anybody? This is a good point. I believe that. Unfortunately, statistically. No, was not. Wait, what did you already do? I cannot believe you. All eyes is one eye, and I'm going to make you an eye patch cozy because you need to get that shit sorted out. Okay. So Should we move on to the next point of business, which is, I mean, all to say, I think it's good that there's going to be some cameras in the courtroom this time. I do hope that there is good coverage. And when I say good coverage, that the reporters on the ground there talk to experts, whether it's, whether it's talking to lawyers on admissibility of evidence, or reaching out to experts in similar fields as the Garmin doctors. But to see about to look into this, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing. So to me, now I'm going to go and look up that Connecticut case to see what the Connecticut Supreme Court decided in the case of the healthcare, appliance. I don't know what you would call it. The applicability of that and the appropriateness of bringing it into a trial, because I mean, it's already gone up that flagpole. But that's the kind of thing that needs to be reported out. There's always more. There's always more behind this. It's not just the murder trial of a woman who allegedly killed her husband. This is important. And I go back. It's important. It's important. It's important. It's the same reason that whether or not you believe Richard Allen did it or not, you need to recognize that trial was fundamentally unfair. It just was. And that's on the state. That's on the state. It's on the state. We can talk about defense some other day. But the burden of proof, right? The burden of proof. And we're seeing it happen here, right? Oh, I know. There's so much. I don't know enough about it. But, absolutely. Something real fishy going on in the old Delphi. So let's talk about hidden true crime, shall we? We done with this? Anybody needs to use it, they free to use it. Okay, so let's do a little God, these people. I don't know what made me think of this. What made me think of it? The hidden true crime people. I don't know. They've just always bugged me. And they've always bugged me. That's not true. They haven't always bugged me. When the thing with Lori Vallow was going on, I thought it was nice to have that kind of coverage and that kind of experience that she brought. Yes, it is. Angela K. Davis, right. Yep. Sorry. But after that case, which I think everybody was kind of on the same page about, right? I mean, when the problem, it's much like Murder Sheet. It's like Murder Sheet, you have a journalist who's not a journalist, and you have a guy that calls himself an attorney. He's a lawyer, right? In Hidden True Crime, you have a journalist who, I mean, she was on television news. Listen, we all have our thing, but that to me is not being an investigative journalist anyway. Everybody has their place. I do not consider that being a reporter, but whatever, or being a journalist. That's me. But then you have her husband, who is a clinical forensic psychologist. So you have these husband-wife teams that have a journalist and then a professional who's licensed. And neither of them, that I can tell, neither Kevin nor what's his name, John, Dr. John, what's his nuts, doesn't matter. I don't know, and maybe this has changed, but for the most part, I mean, they do say things like, this is alleged, or he'll say things like, I'm not diagnosing, but, right? And it's, and I think that's what bugs me so much, is that, anybody can be a journalist. I mean, look at me, right? But while I hold myself to ethical standards that are recognized within my industry, and spelled out, we're talking about licensed professionals that have an actual, that are bound by their whatever oath, whatever they swear to uphold, and whatever, right? And so when I heard this shit from Hidden True Crime, and I'll show you the I'm going to show you the transcript first. And this is like 5 months ago, something like, it's before the trial. It's before the Richard Allen trial. The story of Allison K. What? I did not see this. Have you seen stories? I mean, a lot, that's called access journalism. Explained a little bit about what that was. It's people trade their souls for access to, the people in power who they're supposed to be holding to account. But so this is a transcript from Hidden True Crime. It's from about 5 months ago, and I'll play it in a minute. But this is about Richard Allen before the trial. Okay. From what I can tell, and again, I was not all up on this. I didn't have an idea really until trial started what this was all about. But I also wasn't going on to give an expert opinion about somebody's mental health, or even representing facts. But what they did, and when I heard it, I went and I gave it a Cecil. I seriously did. When you see, okay, I'll tell you what I did. All right. So I'll play the clip, but they'll probably take it down, and I don't care, whatever. I literally have absolutely nothing to lose. So the deputies, so they're talking about Richard Allen, and what they're saying here, and this is the Dr. John speaking, and he's talking about an incident, and he's talking about a domestic violence incident with Richard Allen. And I'm like, oh boy, that sounds bad. Because again, I didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, ooh, prior criminal history ain't good. And especially domestic violence. Holy crap. So I went and I gave it a Cecil, right? That's not what it was. So let me see. I can't see it. Hang on one second. So what it said, and the fucking hubris of this guy, the fucking sack, I swear to God. You know, I'm just going to play it. Screw it. Because no. I'm going to play it and I'm going to show you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you first what actually was reported. Okay. This is from our friend Max, right? This is from 2022. Is that what it says? I can't see. Yeah. All right. So November 1st, 2022. So just after, right? Everybody's so this is how it works. Somebody gets arrested and then journalists go in and they say, well, God, what are the skeletons in this guy's closet, right? So this makes sense. You go and you look and you try to see what it is did this guy do anything, whatever. And this is what they came up with. Now, Carroll County Sheriff's Office confirmed to the deputies were sent to the Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen's home in 2015 for a, quote, domestic incident. Okay. The sheriff's office was dispatched just after 3:30 in the morning on June 18, 2015, according to records obtained by Fox 59. The sheriff said Allen was allegedly drunk and his wife took him to a Lafayette area hospital for medical evaluation. Sheriff Lesenby, there he is. Tobe said no law enforcement action was involved other than responding to keep the peace. That is literally it. That's literally all it says about the domestic. Now, I'm going to tell you, now we're going to listen to what, and I want you to listen to what they reported. Let me put these people up here. It makes me so mad. Number one, it makes me mad because it's just so easy. It's so easy to see that this is not the truth. That what they, let me play it first. God damn it. I can't. Let me see. Please stand by. Let me just make sure it's in the right place.
To have no history of this offense.
Okay, hang on.
Hold
on.
Some researchers in the U.
Oh, no, we're not listening to his horse shit on researchers.
And they wanted to know the differences.
Okay, no, I'm not here for that. The reason
it's important is because.
One moment. Here it is. Okay, there they are. So look, concern, right? Terribly, terribly concerned. Had it up to here with the faux concern. Let me see what the timestamp is because I don't want to listen to any more of this shit than I have to. It's around 35:07. Okay. Barf. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play a little bit.
Richard Allen over, quote, here
we go.
After he was arrested. Officers with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office were sent at around 3:30 a.m. on June 18th of 2015 to the home of Richard and Kathy Allen, according to records obtained by Fox 59. Sheriff Toby Leansby said Allen, a dad of one and a CVS technician, was allegedly drunk, and his wife took him to the hospital for a medical evaluation. According to the sheriff, responding deputies' role during the incident was to, quote, keep the peace, and no arrests or charges followed. Local sheriff's deputies responded to the home of accused killer Richard Allen over, quote, a domestic incident.
Okay, so now he's just doing his rhetoric, right? So this is his thing. He's like the Socratic guy. You just read it. I just read it. I can do that. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office confirms that deputies were sent to Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen's home 2015 for a domestic incident. Right? God, that sounds terrifying. A domestic, this is the thing. This is not journalism. What this guy is doing is bullshit. He's also the guy that said that Richard Allen was not tortured. I will take that bet any day, sir. He should be ashamed of himself. He should be ashamed of himself. It's disgusting. I'm going to keep playing it because he goes on to make an even bigger horse's ass out of himself. But I can read too, right? But it's that extra little tenor that's there. Oh, you know what this was? I'm going to tell you what this was. This was when Richard Allen wanted to unalive himself and was shit-faced drunk. It wasn't a domestic violence incident. And I went back and I checked with the people who know. That's not what this was. And so this is, again, before the trial. And this creator has how many, let's see, let me look and see. 248,000 followers. And this guy's getting up here fixing to say that Richard Allen done beat his wife. I mean, honest to God, of all the lawsuits that Kathy Allen needs to pursue, okay, I'm gonna play the rest of this, and then I'm gonna show you what I sent to them because I was so pissed, and I think Dr. Vonda did too, because it's disgusting. Because it's disgusting, and you have a higher burden. You have a higher burden when you're a mental health professional. You have a higher burden when you're a lawyer. You have a higher burden. God, I just can't. Okay, let's listen to the rest of this nonsense. I hate this so much. Can you tell? Can you tell how much I hate it? I'm so pissed. So here he is rereading again. And look at the gravity on her face. Listen, I'm not going to hear anything about, I'm not shaming anybody's looks. I won't have any of that. Let's not do that. What I am is these two are something else. Are something else. Okay, let's just hear what he says. Oh, pause for dramatic effect. Look at that.
Why is this important?
It's not. Hang on.
Because this is precisely the sort of thing you see with so-called out of the blue killers.
Okay, right? This is precisely the thing that you see with out of the blue killers. He tells their audience of over 240,000 people. It's been viewed 105,000 times. Because this is what you see when there's out of the blue killers. He read the exact same thing I did. Now just wait. This makes me so goddamn mad.
What's important here is that there was no arrest, there were no charges, so all of this disappeared. If they had arrested him and charged him, he would have a criminal record. The reason he doesn't is because the deputies, the officers who responded to this call, they thought it was minor and not worthy of their attention. They recommended that Kathy, Alan's wife, take him to the hospital for medical evaluation because he was deeply inebriated. What was the level of violence? We don't know.
There was none. There was violence. This is what I'm talking about. I am so pissed. I'm pissed for a few reasons. Number one, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And you for 23 years, last week, the 12th, 23 years. Do you know how many times my loved ones called the domestic on me for no other reason than I was off my rocker drunk? This person should know better. It was no secret that Richard Allen struggled with alcohol. None. But these idiots, did they do? We have no idea what the violence was. You know why? Because there wasn't any. He was threatening to harm himself. And you know what your role is, journalist? Is to call and make sure your husband isn't sticking his fucking foot in it by claiming a man was violent. That's your job. I can't. I forgot how angry this makes me. Again, it just fundamentally bugs me when people are just so flip about something so incredibly important. But this devalues my first husband, the first one of the three, as I've told you. Yeah, he was an abusive motherfucker. Listen, stop devaluing what's going on here by your pontificating nonsense. It's outrageous to me. When you get a call, and again, I've lived it. I've been that drunk. That's been threatening all sorts of self-harm. They didn't call it a domestic violence episode. Take these fools down for a minute. They didn't call it that. You know why? You know why Max didn't say that? Because it was a domestic. And not in like the old-timey British sitcom domestic way. It was a domestic, as in happening within the home. People need to understand when you live in the middle of nowhere, like Delphi is, or wherever this was, Mexico, wherever it was, typically you either have volunteer first responders. You don't necessarily have an ambulance to call, so you call 911. And you know who gets sent? The sheriff. Maybe they don't know it on Hidden True Crime because they live in the metropolitan capital of Las Vegas or wherever the hell they said they live. But they don't triage. They do not. I grew up on a farm. Thankfully, none of my escapades took place out there. But you get sent whoever the hell is around. A domestic. Do you see how Max, our friend, was very, very careful here with a domestic? Now, I take issue with him putting it in the lead. But that's literally all that was there. So should we hear what the doctor goes on to say? As a man who is legally innocent, awaits trial for murdering 2 children, this person is making it seem like one of his favorite Shakespeare plays. What are you talking about, DB? Don't make me mad, DB. I'll eat you. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, but it sort of proves my point, right? He knew it was a dog whistle, yet nobody heard anything about this, did they? After at trial, right? Yeah, it's terrifying. Many of you saw, and I'm going to mention my friend Maggie one more time. I talked about her. Her daughter is the one that was murdered 20 years ago. Her dad was the one that argued one of my favorite Supreme Court cases in the early 70s. She is a forensic clinical psychologist who has over 30 years of experience. She's also the mother of a murdered child. She is also a domestic violence survivor. When everything started coming out about how Richard, and she did rounds. So when she was getting her degree, when she was going through her training, you had to do shifts at forensic hospitals, at jails, at all of these different things. She went to work for veterans at a veterans hospital. Then she did a stint in women's prisons. She works with people with PTSD and all of these other, when I talked to her about the situation with Alan being shoved into segregation, she did not say, well, that's not torture. This guy did. That tells you. I mean, I want to finish what this fool said, because it's these people have no idea what kind of, and this, okay, so another thing too, and I'm not going to play it, but you can go find it for yourself. This guy then goes on after Richard Allen is convicted and says that it probably had something to do with Mr. Allen wanting to essay his own daughter. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Let's go back to the tape, shall we? And I want you to notice his performance, because he bookends each of these lives with a very earnest quote from some Greek, from some mythic tragedy or Shakespearean, drama play. And I'm like, I know this guy. I went to high school with this guy. This guy likes to sit in his room and smell his own farts. I know this guy. It was just, let's just finish what he says. You know what I'm talking about, right? One of those guys. We've all been around him.
How bad was it? How violent was he? We don't know. We know it was significant enough that somebody in that home, somebody in the Allen home, called the police for help. So does Richard Allen,
Boom. There you go.
does
Oh,
Richard Allen fit the profile of a quote,
boom, boom. There you go. Boom. I'm not doing any more of this, but I will show you one thing. This is me right here. Please revisit the claim of domestic violence in RA. That is not how the report stated in the 2015 incident. We need information, but correct information. And then I went on to Twitter and I DM'd her ass. Please correct the record. Boom. Right? This is all a game. Those two dead girls, boom, game. Richard Allen's life, his wife, his daughter. There is no evidence of violence. And if she would have done her due diligence to save his ass, it makes me so angry because these people walk around like they have all the answers and they get away with it. And they get away with it. Correct the record. She's also the one who straight up just posted an email from Andy Baldwin to show, like, look, I tried to get him on my show. And I'm like, bitch, that's not what is wrong with you? Talk about clicks. Journalists don't do that. You build trust by not being a total asshole. But this is before. So hang on a second. I need to make clear. This is before trial. This bullshit is before trial. Yeah. Boom. These are not honest brokers. They aren't. She should have reached out to Max. She should have gotten on the phone or sent him a DM and reached out to him and said, can you tell me some more about this before my husband, who is a licensed clinical, who has a professional license, decides to go on and taint a jury pool, making claims about violence that doesn't exist. I just, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Be a good steward of your craft, right? Find out, was this an actual fisticuffs? No, it wasn't. Because, because you can damn sure bet. Listen, you don't take my word for it. But I've spoken to enough people and I interviewed one of them on, under a pseudonym here that would know he was shit-faced and he wanted to harm himself. But who cares, right? Listen, if you think Richard Allen is guilty, Dr. John Matthias, whatever your name is, maybe you should sit it out because you maybe shouldn't dabble in this area. And maybe you need a fact checker. It's unbelievable to me. These are the people that we have sitting in the courtroom. She got a seat, right? A legally innocent man. A bullshit report about a domestic. Going on, and to be so ignorant, to be so educated, and yet so ignorant about how it works when somebody in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, makes a call. It's not that it was so bad that the sheriff had to come. It was so bad that when you call, you get the closest person. What are you going to do? So does he fit the profile? According to this guy, yeah, you bet. Totally fits a profile. We don't know how violent it got. We don't even know if it was violent, because my journalist wife didn't look and see what actually was going on here. Didn't go to see if there was a record of anything, right? There was no arrest. But young Max Lewis, give him a call. You're a journalist. Call another journalist. Jesus Christ. It's the same thing with Murder Sheet and all their nonsense. All before trial. I tried. Send him a note. To her credit, she left it up. Oh boy, I'm not going to get into who. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to any more of their nonsense. But they could have given it a Cecil. You guys? Clickety clack, clickety clack. Give it a Cecil. I just, how does anybody get a fair trial? Gull, whacked out bad boys like Dr. John being all crazy. I don't know. It's just, I can only imagine the analysis he would be. Honestly, a lot of this, I know that there are some, what's her name? She's a really great clinical psychologist that's, what the hell's her name? Dr. Can't remember what her name is. Damn it. But she's a clinical psychologist. Oh, Patrice Berry. I love her. I'll share this because she actually posts. Whoa.
Iconic styles.
She actually posts on her page. And this, I think, affords some accountability. If you can see that. Whoops, I got my Cecil up. Sorry. So she's great. And she did a lot of stuff. And she had a visceral reaction to what the torture thing. And I was actually in one of her lives. And I was like, yeah, I was kind of concerned about the way that it was reviewed. And she's like, yeah, I kind of had concerns about that representation. But my point here is to point out that she has, on her site, that I think is appropriate for somebody in this profession. It's even different than a lawyer, right? Learn more about how experts. So she's got this badge here. Learn more about experts, define health sources. So I didn't see one on hidden true crime because, you know, you don't need to have one, right? Hidden, let me see. Please stand by.
We were set up. in
Not
our
today,
first
Satan.
conversation.
Not today. Gross. Sorry. Oh, I'm not going to look at it. I won't do it. No, I just want to see if they have a, oh, they don't have a badge. No, but see, Dr. Patrice Berry does, right? So from mental health, that at least I feel like, it's appropriate. It's the ethical thing to do if you're a mental health professional and you're going to be talking about mental health. It's easy, but I do like Dr. Patrice. She's funny. She's insightful. I dig her scene. So, let's see. So what's going on? Anything? I'm really warm. What's going on? Anybody? What am I missing? I'm going to go through the chat. Hello, everybody. Hello. Sorry. Anybody? Does anybody want to, anybody have any questions? Is there something I can, if you have a question, just put a little question mark in front of your thingy dingy. What's everybody doing this evening? What the hell are you talking about? His own personal issues. Oh, gross. I don't want to know what that is. Oh, okay, I've got to go check it out. So yeah, Dr. Berry recently did an interview with Kathy from Gossip Rumor and Innuendo. I think it's good to make sure that, you know, you give like good folks a follow. And I think Dr. Berry is one of them. Oh, where are you at? Was it your power? Are you down south? My sister-in-law lives down in Georgia and they lost power. Let's see. I might make cookies. All right. What kind? Making stuff. Easter show. Where? Church? Or is it town hall? Let's see. What else? What else is everybody doing? Oh, shit. Yeah, my sister-in-law has, the generator was running. Thank God they had a generator. But they're out in the mountains, so it's northern Georgia. I don't know where you're at, Lucy, but it totally missed us. My husband, you know, he's like, oh, we're going to get it today. No, we did not. We did not. Once again, I am correct. My husband was not. I love him. He's very cute. Let's see. Cleaning. I did that yesterday. I vacuumed. I love vacuuming so much. Yeah. Aw, heading on midnight. Scotland. Oh, my niece is in at university in Glasgow. My sister and her husband live in London. Lovely place. Lovely place. Oh, good grief. Odinus in the wild. Oh, Lord. Oh. Oh, yeah. You know what? Just pull the covers up. Just give up on the mopping. Uh-oh. I installed a camera for my mom. It's on my niece. Encourages to be a terror. Just west of Glasgow. Yeah, my sister lived in Edinburgh for a wee bit. Oh shit. What else? What else is everybody doing? I'm going to. Okay. Listen. I support you. Support you in whatever you want to do. Go do it. 100%. Man, I don't know. I hope you have a nice seat that is comfortable. I don't know. We're not sure. I'm sorry for your loss, Amanda. Your washing machine is busted. I'm very sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. Ooh, having breakfast for dinner. My goodness. Yeah. Say, oh my God, I didn't even realize St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. I usually do corned beef and cabbage because I love it, but totally forgot. Totally forgot. What else? What else can I tell you? Murder Sheet's just being Murder Sheet. DB, somebody get rid of him. Oh no, God damn it. Osbrook's still here. Hang on. I take my glasses off. Stop it. No. What? Are you kidding me? Hang on. Is this true? So, okay. Okay, somebody did the Murder Sheets did Murder Sheet actually save their most recent episode as Delphi fuckers mixed down? Is that true? Holy hell. Oh my God. That. Wow. Wow. So they have it. I wonder if I can look it up. One moment, please. Please stand by. I have to do a seesaw. Let's see. Oh, what? Hang on a second. Where is it? It's on there. It's funny. I gave it a Cecil, and it's like Murder Sheet controversy. I don't know where you got that, but this is and this is about the. Can you see? Can everyone see? Can everyone see what it says? I can send. What am I doing? Jesus Christ! I'm not that old. Hang on. Incoming. Okay. I'm going to take, Michael, I'm going to take your word for it. I swear to God, don't burn me on this, bruh. Michael Osbrook, you YouTube and fool. This is really worth it if it's if that be a title. Sorry, too soon. Let me just stop sharing that screen. So yeah, they're the murder sheet who just keeps swearing to God they're gonna not cover Delphi anymore because it's just so beyond. Oh, for fuck's sake, I just airdropped it. Come on, man. Want to see a picture of my cat at work? Oh, hang on. There she is. Sorry. Oh, God. Sorry. I'm going to find it. Hang on. You can look at Toot Toot at work. There she is. Somebody's got to make a living around here. She's working 9 to 5. I know. I can't stand it. Taco John's. Does anybody have a Taco John's? That's a Midwestern thing. It actually might just be an Iowa thing. Could be. Why can't I get this to come in? What kind of weird ass file is this? Damn it. I seriously am trying to get this to save. Let's see if that did it. I had to resave it. Of course it didn't. Son of a bitch. I don't know. I can't bring it in. It's some weird file. I don't know. It's probably some virus that's now been sent through the airwaves. I mean, it's real good. Maybe it's It's not showing up, y'all. Sorry. Lo siento. Prosim. Oh, okay. It says, apparently this is how Murder Sheet saved their. I can't believe that this won't come through, y'all. I mean, for crying out loud, it did. Let's see if I can get it. For some reason, it won't let me. I don't know why it's saved like that. Do you have an Android phone? Make myself big. That's a good idea. You done with the toots? All right, hang on. There she goes. She is so busy. Let me take that little sweet baby down. Okay. Sweet baby. I mean, she can be rough around the edges, just like her mama. All right. Is it backwards? I'm sure. So this apparently is what Mr. Osbrook said that the murder sheet saved their most recent episode. Delphi fuckers. Delphi fuckers. Delphi fuckers. I love it so much. I think it's hilarious, and I am going to go. Let's see. Actually, well, what the fuck am I? Hang on, stand by. I can't believe it, y'all. It's been a day. I'm having the pause. It's hot. I'll just go to the Twitter. The Twitter. Good God. Let's see. Jesus Christ. All right, here it is. I'll bring it on. I know. I hope this is worth it for everybody. I mean, I think it's funny as hell, but there it is. Just look at the original file name of their episode on 3/13/25 about the bridge guy video and the motion to reconsider. And oh my God. Okay. So Michael even comes with receipts gotten from the page info for the episode webpage on their site. Holy shit. Listen. It takes a village, y'all. It takes a village, right? Does it not take a village? Delphi fuckers mixed up. Boom. Am I right? Boom. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, striving towards mediocrity. Still true, but hang on a second. Should we have that one? Let's scroll that one. What do you say? Why come? Damn it. Scroll across the bottom. Oh well. Delphi fuckers. Boom. Oh, I love it. I mean, I don't know. That's like manga. That's beautiful. Boom. Right? Wiki. Okay, that's it. That's all. It's been almost 2 hours. Oh my God. Watch out for my updates on the ongoing saga of the murder sheet swatting incident. Striving towards some mediocrity there. Also, do pay attention to the and especially if you're in Indiana, the Allison Davis trial, because I mean, it's all fun and games making fun of, independent fart smellers and Delphi fuckers, but I mean, Christ, the woman deserves a fair trial, right? And if Gull is not allowing this data in, I suggest, listen, if anybody's got an ear or a direct line to Mr. Baldwin or any of the attorneys or any of the lawyers in that case, I don't know, subpoena Cecil, right? All right, everybody, I'm going to go and take my cat around in her stroller. Thank you, everybody. I had fun. I'm a little hot tamales right now. Like I said, it's the pause. And I don't know what's going on this week. I don't know. But you know where to find me if you need me. And remember, Dirtwater flip phone stuff. And also, please remember that I absolutely hate you guys, the least.